Job lines wrap around city blocks. The jazz clubs echo a sorrowful tune. America is gasping for breath, its lungs full of fear, its heartbeat slowed by scarcity. But inside one small lecture hall, something entirely different is happening. A broke, barefoot dancer, his soul bruised by rejection and his wallet empty, steps quietly into a room. His name is Neville Goddard. He has no idea that within moments, everything about his life is going to change. Not with money, not with luck, but with a sentence from a stranger that will shatter the rules of reality. "You're 6 months late," the man says. Neville blinks, confused. "I beg your pardon?" The stranger doesn't flinch. "The brothers told me you would come. You're late, but right on time." That man was Abdullah, a black Jewish Ethiopian rabbi, a man who, without ceremony, without apology, would become one of the most important spiritual teachers of the 20th century. Not because he wrote books, but because he knew something no one else dared to believe, that reality bends to the imagination of the disciplined soul. And that day he began to teach Neville the forbidden. Not forbidden because it was evil, but because it was too powerful, too simple, too direct. It bypassed priests, bypassed logic, bypassed the institutions that feed off your fear. It was a technique so daring, so clean, so surgical in its magic, that it could pull money from the unseen into your palm with one act, one decision. And it starts with a door, not a metaphor, a real physical door. Abdullah told Neville, "Close the door and do not open it again." It wasn't a poetic suggestion, it was instruction, command, a mystical technology of the mind embedded in the physical to collapse the gap between desire and reality. But let's back up. For 5 years, Neville followed this man, learned Hebrew under candlelight, studied the Kabbalah until dawn. But no lesson would be more profound than this. When you decide something is yours, you must slam the door shut on any suggestion otherwise. Neville would come to him and say, "I want to go to Barbados." And Abdullah wouldn't blink. He would say, "You already did." Neville would protest, "But I have no money." Slam. Abdullah would walk away, shut the door of his study behind him, loud, final, done. No debate, no room for negotiation, because the conversation was over. In his mind, Neville had already gone. The moment Neville desired it, it was real in the invisible. The rest was just divine choreography. This was not kindness. This was precision. Because Abdullah understood a brutal truth. Every second you talk about the how, every time you peek behind the curtain of your own miracle, you unplug it from the socket of faith. The power dies when you try to prove it. Now fast forward to December 1933. Neville is broke. Again. The world is collapsing outside. Bread lines are growing, faith is shrinking. But inside his mind, Barbados. He tells Abdullah he wants to go home. Abdullah snaps, "You're already in Barbados, stop talking like you're not." And for weeks, Neville walks the streets of New York, feeling the humid breeze of the tropics in his imagination. He hears the sea, he smells the salt, he boards an imaginary ship every night before bed. And every time doubt creeps in, slam. Not metaphorically, he slams the door of his apartment. Boom! On the outside world, on logic, on doubt, until one day a letter arrives. His brother Cecil, a $50 check, a ticket. He arrives at the port with a third-class ticket, ready to sail home. But at the gate, the agent says something strange. "We've had a cancellation. You've been upgraded." To what? First class. Exactly what Abdullah said. Exactly what Neville declared. And that, my friend, is the secret. Not visualization alone, not feeling alone, but the combination of 3 forbidden steps that break open the gates of wealth, opportunity, and freedom. Step 1, absolute declaration. You do not wish for money. You do not try to manifest money. You declare, with no hesitance, that it is already yours. You say, I have $10,000 in my bank account. You say, I am employed at the perfect job. You say, I have more than enough. And you say it like you say, my name is Sarah, or I am breathing. There is no gap, no question mark. Abdullah used to say, you're either pregnant or you're not. There is no kinda. Either you have the thing in your world, your imagination, or you don't. And if you don't, nothing will help you. Not prayer, not begging, not effort. Step 2, the door slam. You walk to a real door, your bedroom, your office, your kitchen. You speak your desire aloud as a fact. Then you slam that door, not angrily, decisively. You close it as if God Himself said, it is done. You are anchoring the physical to the metaphysical. You are telling your subconscious, this reality is closed, that reality is open. This act, neuroscientists now confirm, creates a kinesthetic anchor, a physical movement that tells your brain, no more debate. The matter is settled, the page is turned. Step 3, the vow of silence. Here's where 99% of people destroy their own miracles. They close the door, then reopen it to check if anything's happening. They ask, where's the money? They look for signs. They worry. They peek. Every peek is poison. You must vow to discuss the topic with no one. Not your friends, not your spouse, not even yourself. You must refuse to run mental diagnostics on your miracle. Why? Because the moment you analyze, you announce to the universe, I don't believe it's really mine yet. Abdullah never explained. He just was. He just knew. He never discussed methods. He never made diagrams. He demonstrated. He lived it. And through that certainty, he passed on the frequency of the kingdom. He knew the laws of the invisible. Whatever you believe to be true completely, without apology, will crystallize into your world. And you know what? Modern physics agrees. In quantum theory, there's a principle known as the observer effect. Reality shifts according to your perception of it. Not metaphorically, literally. Particles behave differently when you observe them. They collapse into form. The unseen becomes seen, but only if you're watching with certainty. That's the doorway. That's the slam. That's the forbidden act. When you declare something so real that the universe has no option but to obey. And here's the secret no one tells you. It's not about magic. It's about finality. It's about living in the end so fully that there is no room for a middle. Neville didn't become a millionaire because he was lucky. He didn't rise to become one of the greatest teachers of imagination because he was born special. He did it because he finally understood what Abdullah was trying to show him. You don't get what you want, you get what you assume. So now, I ask you, what are you assuming? Are you assuming lack, struggle, delay, or are you assuming that what you want is already done, sealed, delivered? Let me be direct. If you keep checking your bank balance, if you keep worrying about the timeline, if you keep asking for confirmation, you're not assuming, you're begging, you're doubting, you're leaking power with every glance backward. Abdullah didn't slam the door for drama, he slammed it to seal the state. That's what you must do now. Not just once, not as a ritual, but as a new standard of being. Because here's the raw truth. If you don't slam the door on your old life, your old thinking, your old doubts, then life will keep dragging you back into that room of limitation. It's not about effort, it's not about working harder, it's not about waiting for perfect alignment. It's about shutting the door and locking it behind you. Not with a key, but with faith. And what is faith? Faith is not hope. Faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Faith is knowing the package has already shipped, even if tracking hasn't updated. When Neville stopped asking how, when he stopped talking about wanting to go to Barbados, and instead became the man who had already gone, the world had no choice but to align. Let that sink in. The world had no choice but to align, because the world is not happening to you. The world is being projected by you. That's why you can't keep opening the door. That's why you must walk through this world as if it already happened. Because the truth is, in the only realm that matters, the realm of imagination, it already has. And if you understand that, then you understand the deepest teaching Neville ever learned. Imagination is God. It's not a tool, it's not a plaything. It is the divine creative force flowing through you. When you imagine with conviction, you are not hoping for something. You are creating it. You are declaring it. And all of heaven bends to your inner decree. So the next time you feel fear or lack or doubt, don't collapse. Don't run to social media. Don't phone a friend. Stand up. Walk to a door. Declare your desire aloud as already true. Then slam it shut, not in anger, but in authority. And then walk away. Live as if it's done. Dress as if it's done. Speak as if it's done. And never, ever speak of the doubt again. Why? Because the moment you do, you reopen the door. You weaken the structure. You signal the subconscious that the matter is still open for debate. But the subconscious doesn't work with maybe. It works with I am. I am wealthy. I am healed. I am chosen. I am free. Those aren't affirmations. Those are access codes to the reality already waiting behind the curtain. And the door is the symbol. The door is the line in the sand between who you were and who you are now. You do not cross back. You do not explain your faith. You do not negotiate with delay. You decide and you remain, because that is the truth. Faith is remaining. Remaining loyal to the new version of you even when the 3D world mocks it. Remaining anchored in your assumption, even when logic screams otherwise. Remaining firm in your end, no matter what storm passes between here and there. Neville did not become a master of manifestation because he learned how. He became a master because he stopped asking how. And so must you. If you made it this far, you're not ordinary. You've been chosen to remember what they made you forget. That you are not here to suffer through life hoping for blessings. You are here to create, to speak, to assume, to command, and then to close the door. So here is your challenge. Today, yes, today, not tomorrow, not when the stars align. Find a door, any door. Your room, your closet, your front door. Stand in front of it. Speak what you desire as if it is already so, and then close it. Hard, final, done. And then go live. Go live like the person who already has it. Go live like the job is yours. The health is restored. The money is deposited. The relationship is healed. And say nothing else. Speak to no one about the process. Don't water the seed with your breath. Let it bloom in silence. And when it arrives, because it will, return here. Return to this place, this comment section, and write, Abdullah was right. Let the world see the fruit of your decision. Let your story activate someone else's courage, because your miracle isn't just for you. It's for the countless souls watching, waiting, wondering. If this works, be their proof, be your proof, and above all, be the one who closed the door and never opened it again.
Imagine if you could change your entire reality in just 4 minutes. Sounds impossible, right? But Neville Goddard, one of the most powerful teachers of manifestation, believed otherwise. He revealed a method so effective that those who use it often call it miraculous. Yet most people have never even heard of it. Neville Goddard wasn't just another self-help guru. He was a visionary who taught that imagination is the only reality. He claimed that what you assume to be true in your mind must eventually take shape in the physical world. And here's the shocking part. The reason most people fail to manifest what they desire isn't because it's difficult. It's because they don't know how to do it correctly. In this video, we're revealing a simple but incredibly powerful method that can help you manifest anything in just 4 minutes. This technique is based on Neville Goddard's teachings, but with a twist. One that makes it even more effective. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step process you can start using tonight to attract what you want effortlessly. Stay with us until the end, because missing even one step could mean the difference between success and failure. And trust me, once you see how easy this is, you'll wonder why no one ever taught you this before. Welcome to Manifest with Neville Living, where we unlock the secrets to a Manifest with Neville life. If you're ready to transform your reality, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Let's begin. Before we dive into the actual method, we need to understand the core principle behind it. Without this, the technique won't work no matter how many times you try it. Neville Goddard taught something radical. Imagination is the only reality. He didn't just mean that imagination influences reality. He meant that everything you experience in the physical world is a direct reflection of what you assume to be true in your mind. If you can hold a thought with absolute conviction, the external world has no choice but to shape itself around that thought. This is where most people go wrong. They focus on what they see rather than what they believe. They look at their empty bank account, their unfulfilling job, or their broken relationships and assume these are fixed realities. But Neville argued that the only thing keeping these circumstances alive is the belief that they are permanent. Change the belief and the world must follow. But here's the secret. It's not enough to think about what you want. You must feel it as though it has already happened. This is the key to manifestation. If you desire wealth, you can't just visualize money. You have to feel the security, the freedom, and the joy of already having it. If you want love, don't wish for it. Feel the warmth, the connection, and the happiness of being deeply loved. Neville often asked his students, would you believe in the reality of your wish if all the signs of the world denied it? This is the real test. Your imagination must become more real to you than your current circumstances. Once you master this, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your assumption. Now that you understand this fundamental truth, let's move on to the exact steps you need to take to manifest anything in just 4 minutes. This is a simple 5-step process, but don't be fooled by its simplicity. When done correctly, it can transform your reality faster than you think. Step 1, relaxation. The first step is to quiet your mind. Find a space where you won't be disturbed. Sit or lie down comfortably and take slow, deep breaths. The goal is to enter a state of deep relaxation because a restless mind blocks manifestation. Neville often spoke about the power of the state akin to sleep, that dreamy, relaxed state between waking and sleeping. This is the gateway to your subconscious mind, where all creation happens. Step 2, define your desire. Clarity is crucial. You must know exactly what you want. Do you want financial freedom, a loving relationship, perfect health? Whatever it is, be specific. Don't just wish for more money or happiness. Define it. How much money? What kind of happiness? The clearer your desire, the stronger its pull on reality. Step 3, visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies your desire has already come true. If you want wealth, picture yourself checking your bank account and seeing the exact amount you desire. If it's love, imagine holding hands with your partner, feeling the warmth and connection between you. Persons start by assuming friendly interactions and positive connections. As you build momentum, your belief strengthens and bigger manifestations become easier. Now, let's talk about how to integrate this method into your daily life so that it becomes second nature. The truth is, you're always manifesting whether you realize it or not. Your dominant thoughts and feelings are shaping your reality every moment. So the goal isn't just to practice for 4 minutes and then forget about it. It's to shift your entire mindset. One way to do this is through mental diet. Neville taught that what you consistently feed your mind determines what you experience. This means eliminating doubt, fear, and negative assumptions throughout your day. Pay attention to your thoughts. Are they in alignment with your desire, or are they reinforcing what you don't want? Every time you catch yourself worrying or doubting, stop and correct it. Assume the best, not the worst. Another powerful tool is inner dialogue. We all have an ongoing conversation in our minds, and most people unconsciously reinforce their current reality through self-talk. But you can change this. Instead of saying, "I don't know if this will work," tell yourself it is already done. Instead of thinking, "I hope things change," affirm, "My reality is shifting now." The more you do this, the faster your subconscious accepts it as truth. A great way to reinforce your new assumptions is by using external triggers. For example, every time you check the time, take a deep breath and affirm your desire as already fulfilled. When you walk through a doorway, remind yourself of your new state of being. These tiny habits, done consistently, create massive shifts. But here's the most important part: persistence. Most people give up too soon because they don't see immediate results. They assume nothing is happening, so they fall back into old patterns. But manifestation isn't about instant gratification. It's about unwavering faith. Neville often said, "You must remain faithful to your assumption, no matter what appears to be." This means that even if your current reality contradicts your vision, you don't waver. You don't check for proof. You don't let external circumstances dictate your inner state. You persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled until reality has no choice but to conform. Neville Goddard's teachings revolve around a profound yet simple truth. Imagination is the only reality. This means that the world you experience is not separate from your thoughts and assumptions. It is a reflection of them. Most people believe reality is something fixed, independent of their mind, but Neville argued that everything in the physical world is shaped by what you assume to be true within yourself. Your imagination is not just a tool for daydreaming or entertainment. It is the creative force behind your life. When you hold a thought with absolute conviction, reality has no choice but to conform to it. This is because your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It only responds to the assumptions you accept as true. If you assume success, opportunities will begin to appear. If you assume failure, obstacles will continue to show up. Your life is always mirroring your dominant beliefs, whether you are aware of it or not. One of the most powerful examples of this is how people unknowingly manifest their fears. Someone who constantly worries about financial hardship, for instance, will keep encountering circumstances that confirm their belief. They may believe they are simply reacting to real events, but in truth, those events are a product of their inner assumptions. The same applies to positive outcomes. Those who confidently assume wealth, happiness, and love will find their external world reshaping itself to match their inner conviction. Neville taught that the key to transformation lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. He often asked, "Would you believe in the reality of your wish if all the signs of the world denied it?" This is the real test of imagination. It is easy to believe in something when external circumstances support it, but true manifestation happens when you persist in an assumption despite contrary evidence. When you can hold an inner vision with unwavering faith, reality must shift to match it. Many people struggle with this because they focus too much on what their senses are telling them. If their bank account is empty, they assume they are broke. If they are single, they assume love is out of reach. But Neville taught that the external world is not cause, it is effect. The cause is always within. To change your life, you must first change your assumptions. This is not about wishful thinking or positive affirmations alone. It is about fully embodying the state of your desire, feeling it as if it is already real, When you do this consistently, the world will reflect it back to you. Once you understand that imagination is the only reality, you will realize that nothing is truly out of reach. You are not bound by circumstances. You are shaping them with every thought, every assumption, and every belief. The moment you accept this truth and apply it with faith, your world will begin to change in ways you never thought possible. Neville Goddard's 4-minute manifestation method is a simple yet powerful process designed to reshape your reality quickly and effectively. Many people believe that manifestation requires long hours of meditation or complex rituals, but Neville taught that it is not the length of time that matters. It is the intensity of belief and emotion. This method, when done correctly, can produce profound changes in just a few minutes a day. The process consists of 5 essential steps. The first step is relaxation. To access the subconscious mind, you must enter a calm and receptive state. This is best achieved by finding a quiet place where you won't be disturbed and taking slow, deep breaths. The goal is to reach a relaxed, almost drowsy state, what Neville called the state akin to sleep. This dreamy, in-between state is where your subconscious is most open to suggestion. If your mind is restless or filled with doubt, your manifestation efforts will be blocked. So relaxation is crucial. The second step is defining your desire with absolute clarity. Many people fail to manifest what they want because they are vague about their desires. Instead of saying, "I want more money," be specific. How much do you want? Instead of saying, "I want love," imagine the exact kind of relationship you desire. The clearer your intention, the easier it is for your mind to accept it as reality. This step is about focusing your energy and eliminating uncertainty. Next comes visualization, one of the most powerful tools in manifestation. Close your eyes and create a mental scene that implies your desire has already been fulfilled. If you want financial success, imagine yourself checking your bank account and seeing the exact amount you desire. If you want love, imagine holding hands with your partner, feeling their warmth and experiencing deep connection. The key here is detail. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? How does it feel? The more vivid your mental picture, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. The fourth and most important step is emotional engagement. This is where many people go wrong. They visualize their desires but fail to feel them. Neville emphasized that feeling is the secret. Your subconscious does not respond to words or images alone. It responds to emotion. You must generate the exact feelings you would have if your desire were already fulfilled. If it's financial abundance, feel the relief and security. If it's love, feel the warmth and joy. The stronger your emotions, the faster your reality shifts. Finally, repetition is key. This process should be done daily, ideally for 4 minutes before sleep or right after waking up. When your mind is most impressionable, the more consistently you repeat it, the more natural it becomes. And once your subconscious fully accepts it as true, the physical world will align to match it. This simple yet powerful method works because it speaks directly to the subconscious, which shapes all of your experiences. When done correctly, it can bring rapid and extraordinary results. The power of assumption is the true key to manifestation. Neville Goddard taught that the world does not respond to wishes, hopes, or even desires. It responds to what you assume to be true. Assumption is not just thinking about something you want, it is the deep, unwavering belief that it is already yours. When you fully accept something as true in your mind, the external world must conform to match that inner reality. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It only reacts to what you repeatedly assume and feel to be true. If you assume success, success will find you. If you assume struggle, obstacles will continue to appear. This is why some people seem to attract constant difficulties while others effortlessly achieve their goals. It all comes down to their dominant assumptions. One of Neville's most powerful teachings is that assumption is stronger than external circumstances. Many people let the outside world dictate their beliefs. If they see an empty bank account, they assume they are broke. If they are single, they assume love is out of reach. But Neville argued that the physical world is only a reflection of the assumptions you have held in the past. To change your life, you must first change what you accept as true internally. The key to making this work is feeling. You cannot simply tell yourself, "I am wealthy" or "I am loved" without actually believing and feeling it. The assumption must be so real to you that it feels like an undeniable fact, even before any physical evidence appears. This is why Neville often asked, Would you believe in the reality of your wish if all the signs of the world denied it? The real test of manifestation is holding on to your assumption even when nothing in the outside world seems to support it. This concept applies to every area of life. If you assume that opportunities are always coming your way, they will. If you assume people treat you with kindness and respect, that is the reality you will experience. If you assume that success is difficult and out of reach, you will encounter endless struggles. Your assumptions shape your experiences whether you realize it or not. To apply this principle effectively, you must not only practice assumption during visualization but also maintain it throughout your daily life. If you visualize wealth for 4 minutes at night, but spend the rest of the day worrying about money, you are assuming lack, and that is what will manifest. If you imagine love but spend your day doubting yourself, you are assuming loneliness, and that is what will continue. The secret is to live from your assumption, not just think about it occasionally. Walk, talk, and act as if your desire is already fulfilled. Ask yourself, if my wish had already come true, how would I feel? How would I think? How would I behave? Then start being that person now. When you fully embody the state of the wish fulfilled, reality has no choice but to align with your belief. Consistency is the key to manifestation. It is not enough to visualize your desires once or twice and then return to old patterns of doubt and fear. Neville Goddard taught that assumption creates reality, but for this to work, you must persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This means holding on to your belief even when there is no physical evidence to support it. The more consistently you assume your desire is already yours, the faster it will manifest in your reality. Many people fail at manifestation because they treat it like a temporary exercise. They visualize their desires for a few minutes but then spend the rest of the day contradicting that belief with negative thoughts and actions. For example, someone may visualize financial abundance at night, but then wake up and immediately stress about their bills. This inconsistency sends mixed signals to the subconscious mind, keeping them stuck in their current reality. Neville emphasized that your dominant state of mind is what shapes your world, not just a few moments of positive thinking. Manifestation is not something you do for a few minutes and then forget about. It is a way of being. If you truly believe that your desire is already fulfilled, you will think, feel, and act accordingly throughout the day. Your inner state must remain stable, regardless of what your senses tell you. One of the most powerful ways to stay consistent is through repetition. Neville recommended practicing the 4-minute manifestation technique daily, ideally before sleep or immediately after waking up. These are the times when your mind is most receptive, making it easier to impress new beliefs onto the subconscious. By repeating the process night after night, you reinforce the assumption that your desire is already a reality. But true consistency goes beyond structured visualization. It is about maintaining the feeling of the wish fulfilled in all aspects of life. Instead of reacting to the world based on your current circumstances, start responding as if your desire has already come true. If you are manifesting success, walk and speak with the confidence of someone who is already successful. If you are manifesting love, carry yourself with the energy of someone who is deeply loved and cherished. Doubt is the biggest enemy of manifestation, and the only way to overcome it is through persistence. There may be times when it feels like nothing is happening, but this is when consistency matters most. Neville often said that the moment you give up, you stop the process of creation. Reality is always shifting to match your inner world, but you must hold on to your belief long enough for it to manifest. The truth is, everyone is already manifesting their reality, whether they realize it or not. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simply consistency. The people who manifest their dreams are the ones who refuse to accept anything less. They live in the assumption of their desire every single day until the world has no choice but to conform. When you commit to this level of persistence, nothing is out of reach. Starting small builds confidence in manifestation. Many people struggle with the idea of consciously creating their reality because they attempt to manifest something so big that their mind immediately resists it. Neville Goddard often advised his students to begin with small, simple manifestations, things that are believable to them, so they could prove to themselves that assumption truly creates reality. These small successes strengthen belief, making it easier to manifest bigger desires over time. If someone who has struggled financially for years suddenly tries to assume they are a millionaire, their logical mind might reject it. Doubt will creep in, and their subconscious will not fully accept the new assumption. However, if they start by manifesting something small, such as an unexpected gift, a free meal, or a small amount of money, they will begin to see proof that their assumptions shape reality. As they accumulate more success, their belief in the process grows, and they gain the confidence to manifest larger desires. A great way to begin is by setting the intention to manifest something minor but specific, such as hearing a particular phrase from someone, receiving a free cup of coffee, or encountering a certain color car multiple times in a day. These small manifestations happen quickly and reinforce the understanding that reality responds to assumption. Neville shared many stories of people who started small and later went on to manifest incredible things. One woman used his technique to get a free theater ticket simply by assuming that she was already attending the show. Another man who initially doubted manifestation decided to test the method by assuming he had received an unexpected sum of money. Within days, he received a check he had completely forgotten about. These experiences proved to them that assumption works, giving them the confidence to manifest larger desires. The key is consistency and patience. Just as a muscle strengthens with repeated use, the ability to manifest strengthens with practice. Each successful manifestation, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that imagination creates reality. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes natural. This is why Neville encouraged his students to focus on the feeling of certainty rather than the size of the desire. The universe does not differentiate between small and large manifestations, it only responds to belief. Once you see that even the smallest assumptions become reality, you will realize there is no limit to what you can create. As confidence grows, so does the willingness to assume bigger and bolder realities. What once seemed difficult or unattainable begins to feel inevitable. This shift in mindset is what allows people to go from manifesting small daily events to completely transforming their lives. By starting small, you remove resistance and build a foundation of trust in the process. And once you know, beyond any doubt, that assumption creates reality, you will no longer wonder if manifestation works. You will simply use it effortlessly to create the life you desire. And when it does, you'll realize that what once seemed like magic is actually law. You'll look back and wonder why you ever doubted. Because the truth is, you were always the creator. You just needed to remember your power. So will you try this tonight? Will you take just 4 minutes to shift your reality? If you do, and if you stay committed, you will see results. And once you do, your life will never be the same. Thank you for watching Manifest with Neville. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Now go, assume boldly, believe completely, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Manifesting your desires doesn't have to be complicated. Neville Goddard's 4-minute method proves that with the right focus, assumption, and feeling, you can reshape your reality faster than you ever imagined. The process is simple. Relax, define your desire, visualize it vividly, feel the emotions as if it's already yours, and repeat the process daily. Yet, it's this very simplicity that makes it so powerful. The real key is consistency. This isn't a one-time exercise, it's a shift in how you think and feel. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and soon you won't just be trying to manifest, you'll be living as if your wish is already fulfilled. That's when true transformation happens. If you're skeptical, start small. Manifest something simple, a free cup of coffee, an unexpected compliment, or a small financial gain. Once you see results, you'll build trust in the process, and that trust will allow you to manifest even greater things. When you experience firsthand that assumption creates reality, you will understand that there are no limits to what you can achieve. So, are you ready to put this to the test? Will you take just 4 minutes today to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled? Trust the process, stay committed, and most importantly, believe. Because the moment you fully accept that your desires are already yours, your world will begin to reflect that truth. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you ever tried Neville Goddard's manifestation techniques? What have you manifested so far? Share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to Manifestation and Personal Transformation. Your dream life is closer than you think. keep believing, keep assuming, and watch your reality transform. See you in the next video. There is no need to strive, struggle, or hustle for what is already yours. Your fortune, your breakthrough, your success. It is not something to get. It is something to accept. Right now, in this moment. You don't need to search the world. You need only search your own inner seat. Everything you desire already exists in the invisible. There is a version of you who already won, already received, already celebrated. The money is in the account, the door is already open, the letter has already arrived, the celebration is already in motion, and your only job is to hit play. When you close your eyes and see yourself at the finish line, you are not fantasizing, you are remembering. You are stepping into the end that has always been yours. The inner scene you replay again and again. That's the script, that's the tape. Just hit play. You don't manifest by force, you manifest by surrender. You surrender to the reality that is already written for you in the unseen realm. The moment you assume you have it, the universe begins to echo back, yes, yes, it is yours. Do not ask how. The how is not your burden. The seed doesn't need to know how the tree will form. The spark doesn't ask how the fire will grow. It simply burns. You simply believe. Just like a recorded song doesn't begin when you press play, it was already created. Your jackpot was already prepared. Pressing play simply reveals what's been waiting. So go within. Close your eyes. Feel the moment you already won. Walk into the house that is already yours. Smile like the person who already received the news. The jackpot doesn't come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who lives as if it's done. You are not on the outside looking in. You are the center of this creative force. You speak and life obeys. You feel and the world bends. So stop doubting, stop delaying, just hit play. The jackpot is already yours. Imagination is not a mere tool for idle daydreaming. It is the secret chamber through which all things come into form. What you can imagine clearly, what you can see with the eyes of the spirit and feel as real within your body, this you already possess in the invisible. You may not yet touch it with your hands or see it with your eyes, but it exists nonetheless. Your senses, grounded in the world of appearances, may scream that it is not so. They may echo back lack, limitation, or delay. But the spirit within you knows better. It does not wait for the five senses to approve. It affirms that the unseen is more real than what is seen, and imagination is the channel by which it is made manifest. To imagine a thing is to clothe it in substance. It is to mold the formless into form. Every great creation, every fortune, relationship, healing, and breakthrough was first imagined. It existed first in the invisible mind of someone bold enough to believe that what they imagined could become real. They dared to step into a scene not yet visible and feel the reality of it so deeply, so vividly, that the universe had no choice but to conform. The outer world is slow and mechanical. The inner world is immediate and alive. Imagination operates on the speed of thought. You can, in an instant, be rich, healed, loved, and free, inwardly. And when you persist in that assumption, the world you see must eventually catch up to what you have accepted within, because life always mirrors what you accept as true in the depths of your being. The tragedy is that most people use their imagination against themselves. They replay scenes of fear, lack, rejection, or failure and wonder why their lives reflect the same. But the truth is unchanging. What you accept and feel as true within becomes fact without. And so the invitation is simple but powerful. Imagine better. Imagine higher. Imagine yourself as already possessing all that your heart longs for. Sit quietly. See the scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Don't look at it. Step into it. Feel what you would feel. Hear the sounds, sense the atmosphere, breathe the air of completion. Let your inner world become so vivid that you forget, for a moment, that it's not real. Because in that moment, it becomes more real than anything else. And that's the moment when your reality begins to shift. The senses may protest, the facts may disagree, but if you hold firm to the image and return to it in faith, you will discover the great mystery, that the unseen shapes the seen and the imagined eventually becomes your experience. So dare to imagine boldly, because in doing so you are not wishing, you are claiming. You are not hoping, you are receiving. You are not chasing, you are possessing. Imagination is the gateway, and through it, everything you desire is already yours. The greatest secret of all manifestation lies in this simple truth. The end is the beginning. Everything you could ever desire, every goal, dream, or vision you hold in your heart, it is already finished in the unseen realm. Creation is complete. You are not trying to make something happen. You are awakening to what already exists. The path, the answer, the connection, the opportunity, it has already been written. Your only task is to enter the unseen in consciousness and dwell there as though it were your present reality. Most people make the mistake of beginning at the beginning. They look at their current circumstances and try to work their way toward the goal, step by logical step. But this is the slow, uncertain way. It is the way of the outer world. The inner world follows a higher law. If you can see the end clearly in your mind and feel it as real, you collapse time. You bring the result to you, not through effort, but through alignment, and to the end. Don't ask how it will happen. That's not your role. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs all things. Your role is to claim the end result and walk in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is not fantasy, it is faith. It is the bold declaration that it is done before any evidence appears. The moment you assume the end, the means begin to move. People, events, conversations, and resources start to align in response to your inner claim. You don't plant a seed and dig it up every hour to check on it. You plant it and live in the knowing that it is growing beneath the surface. The same law applies here. Once you have imagined the end and accepted it in feeling, let it be. Persist in that state. Return to it often. Speak from it, think from it, respond to life as if it were already yours. That is the secret. This is not a mental trick. It is a spiritual principle. The world will always mirror the state you occupy within. If you live from the end, the world has no choice but to conform. Life organizes itself around the image you hold as true. You are not forcing outcomes. You are living in the frequency of fulfillment. And here is the beauty. The end scene already exists. It is a reality in the infinite field of possibilities. When you imagine it, you are not creating something new. You are stepping into something already complete. Your imagination is the bridge. Your feeling is the key. Your assumption is the gate. Stop beginning at the beginning. Start at the end. Walk through the door in your mind and you will find that all the doors in the outer world begin to open. The end is not something you hope for. It's something you enter. The moment you do, everything else begins to unfold with quiet certainty. The world teaches you to fight, to strive, to push your way through life as if success is earned only by sweat and struggle. But there is a higher law, one that moves in silence and power. That law says this: inner acceptance trumps outer struggle. It is not your effort that creates reality, but your agreement with the unseen truth of who you already are and what is already yours. When you accept something inwardly with full conviction, life bends itself to reflect that agreement with exact and flawless precision. You do not need to force the world to cooperate with your desires. The moment you accept the desire as fulfilled within, without doubt or contradiction, the outer world must begin to shift. It is not a matter of effort, it is a matter of inner certainty. You become like a magnet to the scene you have claimed. But it is not achieved by striving. Striving implies separation. Acceptance implies union. And union is power. Many people live in resistance. They desire one thing but emotionally dwell in the opposite. They want love but feel abandoned. They want wealth but identify with lack. They want peace but entertain anxiety. This is why struggle continues. The outer world must mirror the inner world. Until there is harmony within, there cannot be harmony without. But when you quiet your mind, settle into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and accept your desire not as something you're chasing, but something already yours, then something remarkable happens. You find yourself acting with ease, guided by intuition. The right people show up, the doors open without knocking, the answers come without searching. Life begins to move on your behalf because you are no longer resisting it with inner contradiction. It is not the loud declarations that manifest. It is the quiet assumptions. It is the still confidence that says, it is done, even when appearances say otherwise. This acceptance is not passive, it is creative. It reshapes reality from the inside out. You no longer need to wrestle with life because you've already won within. This is not a denial of action. You will still act, but your actions will be inspired, not forced. They will flow from a state of knowing, not fear. The difference is profound. One is struggle, the other is alignment. When you are aligned inwardly with your desire, your movements carry the weight of divine ardor. What once required effort now unfolds effortlessly. So pause, ask yourself, have I truly accepted what I want as mine, or am I still wrestling with doubt, fear, and contradiction? The answer lies in how you feel. If you feel peace, if you feel certainty, then the seed is planted. The process has begun, and nothing can stop it. Inner acceptance is the secret, the unseen cause of every seen effect. Accept now, and the world will follow. What you hold within, you hold in your hand. By law, by design, by truth, your attention is not passive, it is power. It is the spark that brings dormant realities into motion. Whatever you give your sustained focus to, whether by thought, emotion, or imagination, begins to take form. Your life, moment by moment, is a mirror of what you have consistently honored with your attention. It is not the fleeting thought that shapes your world, but the dominant focus you carry with feeling and persistence. Like pressing play on a recording, your attention activates what was already prepared and waiting. Every possibility already exists. Every version of your life, rich, poor, loved, alone, fulfilled, empty, already resides in the infinite field of potential. You are not trying to create something from nothing, you are selecting from what already is. Attention is the selector. It is the invisible finger that touches a thread in the web of reality, causing it to vibrate and bring forth a new song. You may not see results instantly, but once your attention is locked onto something with conviction, the process begins. Invisible currents move. People begin to feel drawn to you. Circumstances shift. Time and space realign. And all of it starts with where you place your gaze. Not just with your eyes, but with your inner vision. Most people misuse this power. They focus on what they fear, what they resent, what they lack. and then wonder why life continues to echo the same experiences. They unknowingly press play on the wrong recording over and over. But you are not here to replay pain. You are here to remember truth, to awaken abundance, to live the scene that brings you peace. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, manifestation grows. This is why it is said that you must keep your eyes single, meaning focused, unwavering, directed on the good, the pure, the true. When your attention is divided, so are your results. But when your inner eye sees only what is wanted and feels only what is desired, the outer world begins to sing that same melody. This is not a game of force. You don't need to strain your mind or fake your feelings. You need only choose. Choose the scene that aligns with your desire. Choose the outcome that sets you free. Then return to it again and again. Not with desperation, but with delight. Not with fear, but with certainty. You are not begging for something to come. You are calling it forth by giving it life through attention. Even now, what you consistently notice is growing. Are you planting weeds or flowers? Are you rehearsing pain or rehearsing victory? The choice is always yours, and the law never fails. What you attend to with faith and feeling must materialize. You have pressed play on many things in your life, some unconsciously, some in fear. But now you can choose differently. Focus on what is good, what is done, what is beautiful, what is yours, and watch the invisible become visible. Because your attention has the final say. You are not on a journey to win. You are awakening to the truth that you have already won. The prize you seek, the love, the wealth, the healing, the recognition, it is not a reward waiting at the end of a long, exhausting road. It is a present reality wrapped in the invisible fabric of faith. The moment you truly feel it, the moment you see it with inner clarity and dwell in its vibration, it begins to unfold in your outer world. Not because you earned it through struggle, but because you accepted it by consciousness. The world has taught you to chase, to work endlessly for outcomes, to believe that success is always just out of reach. But in truth, the game is already finished. The outcome is already written. You are not here to strive for victory. You are here to remember it. The jackpot isn't in the future. It is here, now, not in material form just yet, but in substance, in truth, in essence. And when you align your mind and heart with that knowing, the form must follow. Faith is not blind optimism, it is spiritual vision. It sees the invisible as real, the promised as already delivered. When you say, I am already wealthy, or I am already loved, you are not pretending, you are declaring what exists in a higher dimension, a dimension more powerful than the one your physical senses report. The outer world is always delayed. It echoes the inner assumption with time. But the inner world, your imagination, your feeling, your awareness, that is instant. That is where the jackpot lives. You must feel now what the world says you can only feel later. Smile now, rest now, rejoice now. Speak now as the one who already holds the prize. Let your thoughts reflect the person who has already crossed the finish line. Let your posture, your energy, your silence carry the certainty of one who knows it's done, because it is done. Do not wait for outer confirmation. The world will wait for you. It takes its cue from your belief, not the other way around. If you persist in the inner knowing that the jackpot is yours, the outer world must conform. It is law, it is precision, it is unfailing. You are not asking to win, you are aligning with the version of you who already has. You are not hoping, you are embodying. You are not reaching, you are receiving. The treasure is not buried in time, it is revealed in awareness. So stop chasing. Stop waiting. You are not a beggar at the gate of life. You are the heir, stepping into your inheritance. Everything is already prepared for you, but only faith can see it, and only feeling can unlock it. You are not trying to win, you already have. Now live from that truth. Walk like it, speak like it, be it, and the world will unfold in perfect response. Faith is not a desperate hope tossed into the darkness. It is not wishful thinking. It is not ignoring reality. It is seeing deeper into it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the invisible foundation upon which all things are built. When you have true faith, you are not guessing, you are knowing. You are perceiving a reality beyond the five senses and standing upon it as though it were solid ground. Faith is visionary. It sees the result when the facts say otherwise. It hears yes when the world screams no. It feels completion where others feel lack. Faith operates not on proof but on presence. It anchors you in the unseen with such confidence that the seen must eventually bow in response. It is not about forcing outcomes. It is about aligning yourself with the truth that already exists in spirit. But how do you know your faith is real? How do you know you truly believed? The answer is feeling. Feeling is the evidence. It is the emotional signature of your inner conviction. When you feel something is real, your mind and body align with it. You speak differently, move differently, and live differently. You're no longer reacting to appearances. You're acting from inner certainty. You don't need to fake feelings. You simply need to surrender to the reality of what is already yours. Sit with the vision. Imagine it in detail. Feel the joy, peace, relief, and excitement that would naturally be there if your desire were already fulfilled. When that feeling becomes dominant, when it starts to linger throughout your day, that's your evidence, that's your inner proof, and that's when miracles begin, because the world does not respond to your outer actions alone. It responds to your inner vibration. You can speak affirmations all day long, but if you feel doubt, fear, or unworthiness underneath, those feelings carry more weight. But when you feel it real, when your assumption becomes your inner experience, the universe organizes itself around that emotional truth. This is the great key. What you feel to be true becomes true for you, not because you forced it into being, but because you aligned with what was always available. Faith taps into the realm of infinite possibility. Feeling anchors that possibility into form. You must go beyond believing with your mind. You must believe with your entire being. Faith doesn't look for signs. It becomes the sign. It walks before anything appears. It blesses the unseen. It trusts the invisible. It celebrates before the crowd gathers. When you stand in faith and feel it real, you awaken a power that cannot be shaken by facts. Facts change, truth remains. And truth is what faith reveals. So live as if it's already done. Speak from the fulfillment, move with assurance. Let your emotions testify to the reality you've chosen within. Because faith is your substance and feeling your undeniable evidence. And from that alignment, miracles are not only possible, they are inevitable. All that you seek is already within your reach, not in the future, but in the now. You are not chasing blessings, you are awakening to